When I saw what happened this weekend, I just sat there staring at the screen like, you've got to be kidding me. Lap 224 of 260 at Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta. 37 laps to go. Stage points are done. Survival mode. Everything felt controlled. And then it all collapsed in half a corner. A 9-car wreck that wiped out the competitive core of the field. Tyler Reddick winning from 27th with no front fender, making NASCAR history. Joe Gibbs Racing filing a lawsuit alleging $8 million in stolen trade secrets. Keelan Harvick, age 13, signing with Toyota Racing Development. Dale Earnhardt Jr. warning the entire garage about Carson Hocevar. And a devastating personal loss for Denny Hamlin, officially ruled accidental. This wasn't a quiet weekend in NASCAR. This was a 5-alarm fire, and every piece of it is right here. Before we get into it, if you love NASCAR and you want real talk every single week, hit that subscribe button. We're NASCAR Nation Report, a new channel pushing toward 5,000 subscribers. Real fans building something real. Now, Atlanta. Denny Hamlin was running 5th in his number 11 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. Patient, disciplined, managing the race, waiting for the right moment. That is classic Hamlin. Then, exiting turn 4, Joey Logano drifted up toward the top of the track. Logano clipped the front left of Hamlin's Toyota. That was all it took. At over 180 miles per hour on a drafting oval, sideways is finished. There is no recovery. Hamlin's car snapped sideways instantly, bounced off the wall, and triggered a wreck that changed the entire complexion of the race. 9 cars ended up with damage. And this was not a list of backmarkers. Hamlin, Logano, William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reck, Alex Bowman, Michael McDowell, A.J. Allmendinger, and Connor Zilisch, the competitive core of the field, eliminated in one corner at lap 224. On his podcast Actions Detrimental, Hamlin addressed the incident directly and without deflection. Joey came up there. He got tight. I was really stubborn to not just get back in line. I ended up losing it at that point. It was a mix. Joey apologized for it, but again, I feel like I could have done something different. Hamlin also explained the aerodynamic root cause. When the number 20 drove to his inside left rear, it dumped air on Logano's spoiler, caused Logano to get tight, pushed him up the track, and tapped Hamlin's left front. From that aero position, Hamlin got loose, bounced off the wall, and triggered the chain reaction. That is a veteran accounting for both the physics and his own role in the outcome. The cost of this wreck extends far beyond one afternoon. Early season DNFs accumulate silently. And by September, when playoff cut lines tighten, drivers remember February races where they surrendered potential top 5 finishes. For Logano, asserting himself early is the goal, but self-inflicted damage does not serve that agenda. For Byron, Buescher, and Bowman, all playoff-caliber drivers, this is damage control before the season finds its footing. Atlanta has become a hybrid super speedway, wide open, drafting at over 180 miles per hour, inches apart, with microscopic margins for error. When veterans like Hamlin and Logano get tangled here, it shows exactly how intense every moment of competition is at this level. Was it hard racing? Did Logano come up too aggressively? Was Hamlin simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? Drop your answer in the comments. Reddick's number 4523. Racing Toyota was also collected in that 9-car incident, right front fender completely gone. He fell 2 laps down, dropped to 27th place, and had to pit for repairs with roughly 40 laps remaining. Positions were locked. The field was resetting. And here was a damaged Toyota fighting its way back. He snatched the lead from Wallace despite the right front fender of his number 45 Toyota being damaged in a 9-car crash on the 224th of a scheduled 260 laps. Reddick fell 2 laps down for repairs, but came roaring back from 27th for his 10th career victory. In double overtime, with his crew resorting to heavy tape on the front end in 39-degree temperatures at the checkered flag, Reddick charged from 27th to 3rd in just 3 laps on the late restart. He received a key push from Chase Briscoe. On the final restart, Bubba Wallace led, but drifted high and got shuffled back. Reddick surged from below, took the lead on the final lap and won by 0.164 seconds. "I mean, that's crazy, ain't it? I just found a way to get back in the top 5, Reddick said afterward. Ross Chastain described the experience from his vantage point. "Tyler had like another gear, no fender, and he pulled us so fast." Hamlin, co-owner of 23X Wine Racing, had the line of the night. "Dale Earnhardt could never—" Just kidding. But remember, Dale's big thing was 18th to 3rd. Tyler Reddick rebounded from a crash to become the first driver in 17 years to sweep the first 2 races of a NASCAR Cup Series season. He is only the 6th driver in NASCAR history to open a season with back-to-back wins, the last being Matt Kenseth in 2009. He won the Daytona 500 by leading only the final lap, then returned the following week to win in overtime from 27th with a missing fender. In a race that featured a track record 57 lead changes, Reddick led a race-high 53 laps and came all the way back from 27th after the wreck. 23XI Racing now holds first and second in the Cup Series standings, Reddick ahead of Bubba Wallace by 40 points. Michael Jordan, who settled a federal antitrust lawsuit with NASCAR in December 2025, celebrated his second consecutive win as a team owner. "The guys worked hard all summer, and I know we had our little ordeal," Jordan said, referencing the court battle. "Tyler drove his ass off. I'm very happy for Tyler. I'm very happy for 23XI." Wallace led 46 laps, won Stage 2, and finished 8th after getting shuffled on the final restart. "I don't want my emotions to take away from the monumental day they just accomplished. Tyler did an unbelievable job," Wallace said. Jordan closed it simply. "It's really fun to be a part of 23XI right now." Next, COTA, where Christopher Bell is the defending winner. Reddick arrives with 2 wins in 2 races. If you're still with me, you already know this is the channel. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications. NASCAR. Nation Report, pushing toward 5,000. Let's keep going. Carson Hocevar finished 4th at Atlanta after going 2 laps down. He stormed through the field, forced tight holes, inserted himself into every critical moment late in the race, and then triggered Christopher Bell's overtime crash. He is nicknamed the Hurricane for a reason. Dale Earnhardt Jr. spoke directly about Hocevar on the Dale Jr. download. "No, it's going to take 2 or 3 times for some people to do this. This is who he is. This cat's different." On the question of whether Hocevar will change, "I don't think he has the ability to have remorse. I think he does understand right from wrong, but I don't know that he's going to take a ton of advice from his competitors." The core of Earnhardt's analysis. He's not going to listen to Denny Hamlin or Joey Logano or anybody else. Those are the people that aren't signing his paycheck. In Earnhardt's view, Hocevar will only respond to his own team, crew chief, owners, and the people he trusts. If that group says, "Keep being you," that is what the Cup Series garage will continue to receive. Kevin Harvick previously suggested drivers may eventually send a message if Hocevar keeps putting them in uncomfortable positions. Earnhardt echoed it. Eventually, enough is enough, and somebody will drop the hammer. He named Denny Hamlin and Noah Gragson as the drivers most likely to respond. Neither Earnhardt nor Harvick accused Hocevar of breaking rules. In 2026, his style is producing results. The question is how long the garage's patience lasts. COTA is the next opportunity. Chris Gabehart spent 6 seasons as Denny Hamlin's crew chief at Gibbs Racing. Together, they won 22 Cup Series races, including 2 Daytona 500s, and reached the championship finale 3 times. In 2025, Gabehart became competition director, responsible for all competitive operations at JGR, with access to every proprietary setup, strategy document, and data set the organization held. On November 6, 2025, Gabehart met with Joe Gibbs and asked for carte blanche authority over all racing decisions. Gibbs declined. Gabehart said he wanted to leave. During separation negotiations, JGR conducted a forensic analysis of Gabehart's team-issued laptop. The results were shocking, the lawsuit states. Google searches for Spire Motorsports in October and November, folders titled Spire and Past Setups, and more than a dozen photographs of JGR confidential files taken on a personal cell phone, an act JGR alleges was designed to avoid digital detection. Gabehart had also synced his personal Google Drive with his JGR laptop. The suit alleges Gabehart caused more than $8 million in damages to JGR. The alleged timeline: November 10th, Gabehart's last day at JGR. November 13th, Spire reportedly makes him a job offer. December 2nd, Gabehart meets with Spire co-owner Jeff Dickerson. December 4th, Gabehart tells JGR he has not spoken to anyone at Spire. December 17th, he discloses a job offer but says the role is not similar to his JGR position. February 11th, JGR learns Gabehart will become Spire's chief motorsports officer, responsible for all racing strategy and operations. February 20th, JGR files the lawsuit. February 25th, JGR amends the filing, adds Spire as a defendant, and seeks a temporary restraining order blocking Gabehart from working in any similar capacity for 18 months. Gabehart called the claims frivolous and retaliatory. A third-party forensic expert he retained reviewed his laptop, phone, and Google Drive and found no evidence of wrongdoing. Gabehart also offered JGR access to Spire's systems. JGR refused. Spire publicly confirmed the hire the day after the lawsuit dropped. Earnhardt on the Dale Jr. download: "I don't know who to believe. My hope is this settles." His prediction: "The financial side of Spire will eventually say, make this go away. I think there's a settlement, it goes away, and we don't really know how it got settled." The case is filed in the Western District of North Carolina, the same court that heard the 23X Racing/NASCAR antitrust case, which settled mid-trial in December 2025. If JGR prevails, Gabehart is blocked for 18 months and Spire loses a key organizational hire. Either way, this reshapes the power structure in the NASCAR garage. On December 28th, a fire broke out at a home near Stanley, North Carolina, owned by a company listing Denny Hamlin as manager. His father, Dennis Hamlin, 75, passed away from injuries sustained in the fire. His mother, Mary Lou Hamlin, survived with serious injuries. On February 21st, Gaston County Emergency Management and Fire Services ruled the fire accidental. The cause of ignition remains undetermined. The fire originated in a bedroom. Dennis Hamlin was already seriously ill prior to the fire, something Denny had previously acknowledged publicly. Hamlin competed at Atlanta, ran inside the top 5, was swept into the 9-car wreck, then went on his podcast and broke down the crash aerodynamics with precision and personal accountability. He co-owns 23X1 Racing with Michael Jordan, and his driver Tyler Reddick won the race Hamlin was knocked out of. He is simultaneously managing a full racing season, a co-ownership role, a legal dispute involving JGR, and the loss of his father. Toyota Racing Development signed Keelan Harvick, age 13, to a long-term deal. He is the son of Kevin Harvick. 63 Cup Series wins, 2014 NASCAR Cup Series champion, and Daytona 500 winner, retired after 2023. Kevin spent his entire 23-year career racing for Chevrolet and Ford, never Toyota, making this family alignment with TRD a notable shift. Keelan began karting after early frustration with team sports. "My dad asked, 'Do you want a sport where it's you versus everyone else?' And I said yes." He competed in France, Italy, Brazil, Germany, and Switzerland. At a karting event in Italy, Formula One driver Charles Leclerc's nephew was on his team. When Leclerc attended the event, the crowd broke down the tent trying to reach him. That moment redirected Keelan toward NASCAR. He became the youngest winner in the history of the Snowflake 125 at Five Flags Speedway in December 2025, and the youngest winner of the Florence Motor Speedway Icebreaker in February 2026. He was the 2024 INEX Young Lions National Champion. In 2025, he won 4 ZMAX Cars Tour Pro late model events and 2 Cars Tour West PLM events, the first driver to win PLM events in both series in the same season. In 2026, Keelan races with Rackley WAR and Kevin Harvick Inc., driving the number 62 Toyota Camry with ExxonMobil as primary sponsor, with access to the Toyota Performance Center for fitness, sports psychology, and recovery. My main goal is to be just like my dad and just try to make it to the Cup Series, he said. Kevin explained the family's reasoning. The effort that Toyota puts into, not only the driving piece of it, but the human piece of it is very important to us as a family. TRD President Tyler Gibbs stated, "We see a bright future ahead for him.